Thank you for joining us here at the First Alert Desk on Atlanta News First Plus. As you can see, we are taking a preview look at the weather, and I just have a question for you. If you missed it, what do you think our very own Georgia's prediction was for whether we will have 6 more weeks of winter or not? We'll talk about that in just a couple minutes, but first, this is Catch Up Quick, so I want to get you caught up on the stories making headlines. We're going to start out in Snellville, where we are following a deadly shooting investigation that has really had investigators on scene for several hours into the morning today, after a man was found dead from gunshots after crashing into a Gwinnett County house. This prompting a multi-agency investigation. Atlanta News First Blake Devine reports from the Snellville Police Department.
This investigation involved the Georgia Bureau of Investigation along with Snellville Police, and they were in that nearby neighborhood for over 7 hours as the scene cleared out around 2 a.m. Now, here's what we know. According to police, they say that neighbors first heard gunshots around Englewood Way near Long Street around 8 on Sunday night. Moments later, a car slammed into this home, causing some damage. When officers arrived on scene, they discovered the driver deceased behind the wheel, although they say he died from a gunshot wound. GBI agents, they were there as well, assisting on scene. Police say that's standard as the larger agency has some more resources to help out with incidents such as this. Police haven't released the name of the driver as there's no word yet on any suspects. Reporting in Snellville, Blake Devine, Atlanta News First.
And family and friends will gather to remember the man who was killed during the clearing of a homeless encampment right here in the heart of the city. Atlanta News First reporter Sarah Hammond joins us ahead of this morning's funeral.
Killed last month during a sweep of the encampment he was living in.
A heavy piece of equipment came through to demolish where he lived.
Taylor's family, friends, and community gathered to pay their respects to a man who friends say was fun to be around and carried a positive attitude despite his circumstances in life.
Always got a smile on his face, always ready to joke and play.
Advocates are now calling on the city of Atlanta to be more responsible and prevent this from happening again.
A lot of times, especially when you're dealing with tents and you're dealing with sleeping bags, you want to make sure that people are out of those particular things.
Willie Davis says his office is still investigating to see if proper protocols were followed here.
The sweeps are in and of themselves inhumane, and that until you can place people in permanent housing, you have to, again, support where they're currently living because it's all they have.
Meanwhile, the Atlanta City Council is mulling legislation that would temporarily stop the use of heavy equipment during encampment clearing. The measure just made it out of a committee last week.
It's not a crime to be homeless. You know, they are people. Their lives matter. And so what happened to Cornelius should not have happened.
Bridget Spencer, Atlanta News First.
Just some additional information for you. Today's funeral service begins at 11 o'clock at Ebenezer Baptist Church. The family then planning to lead a silent procession behind a horse-drawn carriage, carrying his casket to Atlanta City Hall before a private burial. Now, the public is invited to walk with the family in solidarity from the church all the way to City Hall. We'll bring you that coverage right here on Atlanta News First Plus. A really important announcement that I want to share with you as this search is very active and ongoing. Police hoping you can help them get a murder suspect off the streets. Take a look at your screen. Police say Vincent Steele escaped on foot after a high-speed chase with law enforcement last night, and he may be in the Fayette County area. Steele is wanted for murder in Atlanta. He is considered armed and dangerous. So if you see him, do not approach. Instead, what you're going to want to do is call police. And in a national story that could be impacting your wallet right here in Georgia,
America is on the verge of an international trade war after President Donald Trump signed an order imposing 25% tariffs on neighbors Canada and Mexico, along with an additional 10% levy on goods from China. The order takes effect just after midnight Tuesday.
We may have short-term some little pain, and people understand that, but long-term, the United States has been ripped off by virtually every country in the world.
Both Canada and Mexico have promised tariffs of their own in response, and even some Republicans are questioning the move.
It will drive the cost of everything up. I mean, why would you want to get in a fight with your allies over this?
The tariffs, just one of multiple monumental moves coming out of the new administration over the weekend. In a conversation on X overnight, leader of the new Department of Government Efficiency, Elon Musk, spoke on the future of the U.S. Agency for International Development, which may move under State Department leadership.
Which we're in the process of doing, shutting down USAID.
CBS News has learned at least 2 top USAID security officials have been placed on leave after denying DOJ personnel access to classified materials. Also this week, President Trump is set to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in the president's first meeting with a foreign leader since returning to office, and the two are expected to discuss victory over Hamas. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
And we will keep you updated on what comes of that. All right. Let's talk about what we started this stream with, all right? I hope you've been enjoying this warmer temperature that we've been having here in Atlanta. And I want to ask, in case you missed the news, what did Georgia's General Beauregard predict was going to be our outcome? 6 more weeks of winter weather or an early spring? First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazi joins us with the answer on that and your forecast up ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So the groundhog, you said beaver earlier, now that's in my head. Not beaver, groundhog, some type of rodent. Regardless, so Beauregard Lee over in Jackson, Georgia, said 6 more weeks of winter, but so did Punxsutawney Phil in Pennsylvania. So both of America's rodents decided 6 more weeks of winter. Now, I will say they might be onto something, guys, okay? Because it does seem like, even though what you're looking at on your screen right now, that we have some warmer weather on the way this week. You probably enjoyed it yesterday. At least I hope you got out and enjoyed it yesterday. It does look like as we go into the end of February, mid to late February, we will start to see a cool down. In fact, temperatures will start to go back closer to average. It looks like as early as next week, but we might get another pretty big dip in temperatures by the end of the month. We are still in winter. This is kind of fake spring, getting us excited for what's to come in the next couple of weeks. But let's talk about what's going on. So the jet stream is a very fast moving kind of tunnel of air that moves in the upper levels of the atmosphere where planes fly, so thousands of feet above the Earth's surface. And what it does is acts as kind of a barricade between cold and warm air. In the winter months, usually it's a little further south, and that brings in that cooler air. But right now, it's actually shifting a little further north, and that is trapping all of the cold air well to our north. And we're talking warmer temperatures across much of the lower 48. In fact, a lot of spots all the way up into the Ohio Valley expecting to reach near or at record warmth this week. And we even have a handful of days that will be near record warmth. Of course, record warmth in February looks a lot different than it does in the summer, but nonetheless, still near record heat. So for today, we will be in the low 70s. It is going to be beautiful. Take your lunch outside. Maybe go take your a break at work and just do a couple of laps outside in the parking lot, even just to soak in the sunshine. A really, really nice day ahead of us. Upper 60s for the mountains, 73 for a high in Atlanta after hitting 69 yesterday. So we'll continue our warming trend. Going into tomorrow, it'll be chilly. Our cold mornings will be a thing of the past this week. You will still need the jacket heading out the door. Temperatures will be anywhere from the upper 40s to low 50s with mostly sunny skies. We could have maybe some patchy fog develop, especially near our bodies of water, so rivers, creeks, streams tomorrow. We are going to have our dew points, the measure of moisture in the air, start to climb a little bit this week, and also in sync with our temperatures. So that will leave a little bit of extra moisture. So as our temperatures drop through the night, that extra moisture, I think, could develop some fog in some spots, especially, again, near bodies of water. And that will be the case tomorrow morning. Otherwise, a great morning. Tomorrow afternoon, even warmer, closer to 80 degrees, 76 for a high in Atlanta. That is not the record. The record tomorrow is 78, but some of us will reach 78 degrees tomorrow. 78 for a high in Athens, Eatonton, even the mountains will reach the 70s. Overall, a really nice and warm afternoon expected for your Tuesday. That warm weather sticks around for the rest of the week. We will have a weak cold front move through Tuesday into Wednesday. You're not really going to notice anything happen with it, except that we'll just be a touch cooler on Tuesday, but we rebound right back into the mid-70s Friday and Saturday. Going into the weekend and late week, we will start to watch for some rain chances, very small rain chances, no first alert weather days, so no super impactful weather, but we'll at least be a little more unsettled, especially north of Atlanta going into late week. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we are looking at that potential for maybe a few scattered showers. Come Sunday, remember I mentioned that we'll start to see some cooler air usher in Sunday. It does look like we'll have a cold front. Sorry, I just knocked the microphone. Looks like we'll have a cold front approach and maybe bring us a few scattered showers on Sunday, and that will drop our temperatures. If that front moves in a little earlier, that leaves the day cooler. If that front moves in later, it leaves the day warmer. So there's still some fine tuning to do with temperatures. It could be a very split day. If you live north of the city, you'll end up topping out the 60s. If you live south of the city, you'll end up in the 70s. Still some work to be done when it comes to timing, temperature, rain coverage for Sunday, but just know maybe a few showers Sunday with that cooler air at least starting to usher in. Regardless, all the way up into the start of the weekend, we're looking at very minimal measurable rainfall. So this is kind of giving you that picture that we don't have any significant rain chance this week, but enough to at least pick up about 1/10 of an inch of rain, maybe a trace of rain in some spots. North of the city, maybe close to 1/2 inch of rain in some spots. Here's a look at that first alert 7-day forecast. Gorgeous weather this week, guys. Get out and enjoy it. We'll be in the low 70s today. Mornings stay a lot more mild. We had afternoon highs cooler than the 50s in the last couple of weeks, and that's where we're going to be waking up the next couple of mornings. Well, really, the next 7 mornings. So going through the week, we'll be in the 70s all week, mid-70s Tuesday. We'll stay in the low 70s Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday does look a little cloudier. We'll start to introduce rain chances Thursday, Friday, Saturday, just a 20% coverage, so spotty showers possible. And then Sunday we'll increase that coverage of rain to 30%. That could go up, and again, that temperature could also be tweaked a little bit. Right now we're going to say mid-60s. It does look like we will cool back down closer to average, which is in the mid-50s going into next week. We'll keep you posted on that forecast, but this week, get out and enjoy the weather, guys. We deserve 70s, right? Getting us really excited for spring, which is only 45 days away officially as of today. All right, everyone, I hope you make it a wonderful Monday. Thanks so much for spending some time with us to get the latest on your top stories and your First Alert forecast. Make sure to check in here on Atlanta News First Plus throughout the day and have that First Alert weather app downloaded and ready to go so you can stay up to date on your forecast. Make it a wonderful Monday.